Welcome back, everybody. This is Youngzers, Season 2, Episode 8. Kick back, relax Sunday for us. Steelers don't play till tomorrow night. They got the Monday night game against the Browns of Cleveland. The game is in Pittsburgh, so you'd think they have the advantage there. But we should see what happens after, week one debacle last week. So we're going to keep it positive for now, though. The 49ers are a good team. They got a good defense. They got a good system offense. I'm not going to say that quarterback's good because I don't think Brock Purdy really is. I think he's just placed somewhere where he do well for where he's at, but we already talked about that. Anywho, what do you guys want to talk about on the slate today? Do you guys want to talk college football, see how our teams did this weekend, maybe do a little preview? Dan's shaking his head now.
Oh no. No. You're gonna face the friggin' music today.
That's fair.
You are going to. And there's normally I would not, I don't want to make people rehash what happened last night. But, first and foremost, I'm a Penn State football fan. Like I said, go to Pitt games. I enjoy watching them. I don't even care about West Virginia. That's just how it goes.
No.
But at Narduzzi to say that, trash the Penn State offense and then, basically just say they're afraid to play us they're not afraid to play you. No one's afraid to play you. Phil Jurkovec might not complete a pass in a flag football game. That was by far the worst Pitt game that I have ever watched. That was up there. I mean, for a backyard brawl, I'm talking about the quarterback play. The quarterback play, more specifically, was atrocious. Doesn't even describe it.
On both sides.
Well, they had their backup. West Virginia had their backup.
That's the thing. You knocked their starter out in their first series. I think it was the third play of the game. They rolled up on his ankle, so you should be feeling good about that. It would have probably been worse if it was his last name Green or whatever. If he was still out there, it was abysmal. It was disgusting to watch. And I tortured myself and I watched the whole thing. When you're throwing into triple coverage just because you're just slinging the ball, I understand that for a freshman, maybe even a sophomore, but you're a fifth-year senior. This is your third team. I understand why you didn't have the starting job in Notre Dame and then you leave Boston College because Frank Segnetti comes down. You would think that there'd be some familiarity. I'm tripping up on that. You think there'd be some cohesion there? There would be some I guess he would know what you'd like to run, and then some safety throws, and just to get you in the rhythm. He just seemed like he was out of the rhythm. Here's the thing that really grinds my gears with that guy. He comes out and wants to yell and complain and whine and cry that fans were booing him last week, correct?
Yeah.
You go and you make a statement like that, and then you come out in the backyard brawl, which is, I would say, our national title, right? Because like when Penn State, right? If you guys aren't having a good year and you guys would beat Ohio State or Michigan, that's the biggest game for you guys on the schedule, right?
Yeah,
correct.
You guys see it as a rivalry. The other two schools might not. This is the backyard brawl. You're 70 miles away. And when I was growing up, it was the one game you marked. And, thinking back, you got 13-9. There's a lot of close games I got to watch with that. But you come out and you play the way you did. And here's what really doesn't sit well with me. You skip the press conference. You are not available for the media. It just shows you don't have any twig. You have no berries. It's
we haven't heard that.
You can. Here's what I'm gonna say. Like saying you're not available for the media. I know there's a line between, hey, that's a student or that's a kid. Well, he's kind of a fifth year, like whatever. Like he should be in the workforce at this point, honestly.
He's 23.
But yeah. Anywho, to not be a man and own up about what you did is like another kind of thing. And like running away from your problems, aka like people questioning you about things, that's not a guy tweeting about you. That's not Joe Schmo yelling at you from the stands. That's a reporter. That's life as a college athlete or someone in the spotlight like that. If you're a quarterback and you're a leader of the team, especially, you should be out there, taking the lumps when you have to. And I think it just speaks volumes, maybe,
It,
about the leadership of the quarterback on that team.
Yeah, 100% does. And, like you said, he's what, 23 already?
23 years old.
You
Yeah.
know, you're not you're not a freshman, you're not a sophomore, you're not a junior, you're not a senior, technically you probably shouldn't even be in college at this point. But there's this, it's whatever. But when you're that age and you're in that prominent of a position and you say, the booing and all that, and you're complaining about it and you're making it a bigger deal than it is, and then you just go and lay an absolute turd down in West Virginia, and then you don't face the media, that's just that's a bad look, and it's bad because Dan never gives out the no twig, no berries award. And the fact that it's within the first 5 minutes of this episode, Dan has just unleashed that on him. That's worse than the boo and Phil. If you somehow see that clip, the no twig, no berries. That's just the nail in the coffin right there.
I think it looks worse to not face the media after, especially last week. Like, how do you not see that? Like, read the room.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I could
He
give him
couldn't read a defense. Why would he be able to read a room?
So I could give him a pass for last week, correct? And say what you want about Pitt, they're a little brother to a lot of people in a lot of people's eyes, but they're playing 11 straight Power 5 teams, okay? Lose to Cincinnati last week, which Cincinnati, I mean, they recruit well. They were just in college football playoffs a few years ago. Yada, yada, I get it. I'll give them a pass there. It was an old Big East game, which that might have been the worst Pitt game I've ever watched, was Pitt was playing Cincinnati at home for the Big East title and got the doors blown off them. Anywho, I'm going to move on here. You come out the next week, and if you beat West Virginia, you can forget about the prior week against Cincinnati, because Cincinnati, you never know, they could shock some people again.
They're not a bad program.
No, and here's the thing: you're not in the ACC play yet. You look at the murder row that you have coming up. Correct? You got
North
UNC.
Carolina.
You have UNC, Notre Dame, Florida State in a 3-week stretch. You're coming out of week 3, 1-3, and you played Wofford the first week, and I mean, yeah, you put up 40 on them, but you still gave up some points. That's a cupcake team that your Ohio States of the world and Penn States of the world would put 60 up on. It just shows that this team, this program, this university, I hate to say it, isn't as big time as people like to think. And I don't know. I think Pat Narduzzi does an okay job at recruiting and bringing the right guys in. It's just he was out coached last night too against the guy who, if would have lost last night, would be fired today. We'd be talking about Neil Brown packing his bags today. But today we're talking about what was Pat Narduzzi doing. I think the feel of the game changed on that first possession. You march it down and you take the 3 points. I think if you go for it there, you pin them deep. Your defense played fine. The defense kept them in it. That defense is pretty damn good. But you make them march down 90 yards on you, their opening possession. I think you go for it on 4th down, especially in the backyard brawl. I mean, Neil Brown went for it on 4th down twice, I think, last night. Why can't you? It's not your run-of-the-mill Syracuse Pitt, it's not an ACC matchup or anything. This is a rivalry, and it's been renewed now. Everybody's going to have this game marked for next year because you're 1-1 in the series now. And last year, I hate to say it, you were gifted that win. You weren't ready. I mean, if was it Devonshire took that one to the house late because it tipped off that kid's hands, you don't win that game.
Yeah, and that was a complete fluke of a play, like you said.
Yeah,
Bryce Ford Wheaton was their best receiver and drafted. Just a fluke play basically got you a backyard brawl last year. And then this year, you look at the defensive line, especially, losing Kalijah Cansey. You lost a lot on defense overall. Eric Hallett, I forget the other safety. They lost both their safeties. They lost a lot on defense. Their secondary, I think, is probably their best part of their defense with MJ Devonshire, Donovan McMillan transferring in. But they're weak, I think, on both sides of the lines, and the offensive line has been ravaged by injuries already. A couple more went down last night. So here's what bothers me about Pat Narduzzi. He talks all this trash about other schools, takes shots. Back your shit up, Pat. He won the ACC title in an offense where it was you were passing the ball a ton. You had a mobile quarterback. And after they won that ACC championship, he was like pissed off at the fact that that's how he won it. And he went back to this garbage offense, blame Keaton Slovis about last year. If Slovis is playing last night or last week, I think they win both of those games just because I'm not saying he's a great quarterback. I'm not saying he's a good quarterback, but he's somehow better than Phil Jurkovec. And that's still crazy.
Yeah.
BYU's 3-0. It's
Yeah.
1-2.
Yeah.
You take
But
shots.
also, BYU has like one of the least productive offenses in college football.
But still, that's what I'm saying.
You win, I guess.
He's not turning the ball over that much. That's the main thing. Slovis isn't a good quarterback, but he's somehow,
And
you let your defense do what you do, and you just, you keep it afloat on
they don't
offense.
really use the tools they have well either. Like Bartholomew is like an incredible tight end. I think he had like 2 balls thrown to him all night.
Yeah,
Like, why do you do that?
Hammond's a great running back.
Tight end.
Gavin Bartholomew, like I said, a tight end. And then you have Mumpfield and Means, who is the receivers. Okay, those are 2 decent wide receivers, but you see quadruple coverage, and you're getting excited. You're just eating it into there. They're not a good team. They have very much the potential to start 1-6, 1-7 on this year. And the bigger issue, I think, last night is you kept him in there the whole game.
Yeah.
Why? You're telling me Christian Veo's that not, that every report you heard was that he was looking good in training camp. He's looking good as a backup. Narduzzi, when it comes down to it, and this will be his downfall, he is just too stubborn of a coach. Yeah. What are you worried about? The optics of a Penn State quarterback coming in and winning the game for you? Like, I'm serious. Yeah. Like, he's just that stubborn. Where is that the fact where he's like, I can't do it?
So here's my thing with the whole quarterback issue and Jurkovec. You can have all the trust in the world in him. He might not have it that night, and that's fine. You sit him down. Hey, take the night off. Hey, first half you weren't in it. We got to go to the backup. And it's simple as that. And it's no hard feelings. I mean, people get cut from teams and jobs, and people get laid off and stuff and fired all the time. And no hard feelings. It's just, do you have it that night? There's pitchers that go out there, they get shelled the first inning, they'll come back the next week, their next time up, and they might mow down the lineup 3 times. And that's fine. You just got to have the sense of it, and it's just no game sense right now. Narduzzi, he is, if you want to look across the street with the Steelers, Narduzzi's a defensive-minded head coach as well. Mm-hmm. Does that have something to do with it? He just doesn't have the feel. And I understand as a head coach, you have to have a feel for both sides of the ball. But, he, is primarily a defensive coach. He was the defensive coordinator at Michigan State and stuff like that. And he's got a really good rap sheet. But does he not have the feel like, hey, Jurkovec doesn't have it tonight, we got to sit him down? But is it like a hard feelings kind of thing? You can't have hard feelings when you want to win, especially a rivalry game like that.
Mm-hmm. If you don't have that sense, though, as a coach, then you shouldn't be a head coach, because I have never coached football. I'm not claiming I know the X's and O's or anything, but I could watch. And he said, we're going to review the game film, but Jurkovec should be starting against North Carolina. You take one look at that first half.
Yeah,
I don't even have my glasses on. This guy's a shitter. Yeah. You're doing a disservice to the rest of your team by not giving them, because he gave them 0 chance to win.
Yeah,
0 chance. You take him out and you give someone in there that could he possibly do worse. If he could do worse than that, then you shouldn't be on a Division I football roster.
It's just what the West Virginia cornerback said in the interview after the game about Jurkovec. He's like, we knew going in that this guy wasn't good at his job. Like, come on, what's that say about next week? That interview is going to go viral. You got to know that the guys down in North Carolina are going to see that and be like, hey, he's already starting, And these programs that are they could break into the high level, every couple years. Pitt won the ACC a couple years ago. They aren't like, they're not a, say, Ohio State or those top, like, Michigan teams. Teams like that, they need competition, like, within the program. So,
Yeah.
Jurkovec, you need that competition. That guy under you starts a game. Hey, you come in the next week and you have a great game. That means you had it. You just didn't, you didn't have that pressure on you to have it. If you come back in and lay another egg, that means, hey, you're never gonna have it. So
I mean,
programs like that need competition within themselves in the first place. If you're not have those 5-star guys or those big names.
here's what's going to happen too. Every team is going to load the box with 8 guys and dare Pitt to throw the football until they prove that they can throw for more than 100 yards in a game. So
Yeah.
that's going to be the main thing. They're going to be in some trouble there. But what I think that not a lot of people are looking at right now is the recruiting aspect of what happened last night. The Whippeals one of arguably the top prospect from last year, Rodney Gallagher, West Virginia over Pitt. Hey, he's like, I made the right choice. That's what he's got to be thinking. And now, if you're a recruit and you see how that went offensively last night, why would you want to go there into that offense? And why would you? It's just, I think last night's loss it was a lot worse than just the Phil Jurkovec Narduzzi being stubborn. That's going to have a big impact on recruiting. And if you want to argue that with me, fine. But that's just how it goes.
You can't
Same
argue
thing.
a point like that, because look back when Doran Dickerson, Scott McKillop, them guys have gone on record and said the night that they beat West Virginia in West Virginia 13-9, there were kids taking their official visits to West Virginia because they want to see the atmosphere down there, and what bigger game to go see than Pitt versus West Virginia in the backyard brawl. And when Pitt beat them, they had like 7 kids that were down there out of there was probably 30 flip right then and there. So you look at it for the future, it's not good, because it doesn't just go on the record as a loss. You lose recruits, you lose athletes that were going to replace some of these guys, and it doesn't number. It doesn't. It doesn't number.
Let's face the facts. It's not like this is a good West Virginia team.
No.
This West Virginia team, they're good in the trenches, which, hey, where credit's due. They're good in the trenches. They have physical lines on both sides, but it's not like this is a great West Virginia team that beat you. It's, I would argue that talent-wise, West Virginia was projected to finish last in their
last in the Big 12. Yes,
that's not a good look.
No.
And that Wofford team you beat, like you said, it was a cupcake game. They finished, I think, 7th in their conference last year, which, if you're scheduling the cupcake of cupcakes, you got to hang 60 on Wofford. It's not like you're taking the division. It's like you're taking the conference champion from a cupcake conference playing them. You're playing almost the lowest. No disrespect to Wofford. I have nothing against you, but you're not that great of a team. At least last year, not this year.
I didn't know they existed until they're in the NCAA tournament once.
Yeah, I don't want Wofford to catch a
record. Where are you?
Wofford's catching strays right now. I apologize for that.
I don't know where you're located, like name-wise. Like, there's a couple schools every now and then. You're like, where even are you? Like, located on a map.
They're down in North Carolina, I think. They're in one of the Carolinas.
Well, if you would have told me, like, I would have put a pin in, like, Midwest, like Indiana, like, Illinois somewhere. Like, throw a dart somewhere, and they'd be like, all right, Wofford's there. Like, you could have fooled me.
Yeah, it's this team isn't good. They're going to finish where they were projected for the ACC, and that was last in the ACC, or next to last in the ACC. And if you look at the games coming up, because they got to play Duke too, I'm pretty sure, and Duke's ranked in the top 25. But that Murder Road that I said, in the next 3 weeks in a row, you got UNC, Notre Dame, Florida State. Florida State at home, November 4th. I wanted to go to. I don't know if I want to now. Florida State, I know they didn't look that great against Boston College, but look at that game. The Boston College, it was the red bandana game, so they're gonna come out, and they always get up because they beat USC when they were ranked number 5 in that game a few years ago. So there's a lot more to that game. So I understand Florida State kind of stumbling there. and getting lucky and squeaking out one. But look what Florida State did to LSU in week 1. Trounced them. You're talking about a powerhouse in the SEC getting destroyed by Florida State. What do you think Florida State's going to do to Pitt when they come to town? It's going to be a massacre. I don't know if you guys remember the first year Pitt's in the ACC, they open up with Florida State at home and go to Florida State and Jameis Winston do. Hung 60 on them. You know?
At this point, I'm convinced that Chris Winkie could come out. He's probably, close to his 50 now? He's probably in his 40s, 50s. He'd hang someone Narduzzi at this point. You may as well start some of them throwback quarterbacks every team you're playing. Give me a throwback. Brady Quinn could come in for Notre Dame and hang him on. Any quarterback that you name today, in which I was just naming.
Chris Winkie's 51.
51, exactly.
Yeah.
So Chris Winkie could probably beat Pitt at this point. And I'm sure you saw I think you did. You saw my tweets last night. Punxsutawney Phil greater than Phil Jurkovec. Phil from Modern Family. Phil Collins from Trailer Park Boys. Right? Anything you name.
That's Philadelphia Collins to you.
It is Philadelphia Collins. That is correct. West Virginia saw Phil Jurkovec starting and playing the whole game, and it was peanut butter and jam for that defense. That's what that was. That's exactly what it was. It was some green ham for that West Virginia defense.
That's just the program changing game for West Virginia in the long run. Just to not be able to throw a ball is just crazy to me.
That's your primary
as a Division I athlete, and seeing ghosts, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I saw on Twitter a former Penn State player who transferred to Pitt. I'm not gonna say any name. He said, "Let Phil cook before the game." Well, they let him cook for 3 INTs. So, jeez. Yeah, I hope they get better though. It's not the end of the world yet. They can still come together, but it's not looking that great right now. After the second week, the loss against Cincinnati, I wouldn't say that was a killer. I'd say they had momentum going out because they at least came back. Looked like the offense was functional at the end of that game, but it looked like it's just back to what they saw in the first half, the first 3 quarters of that game, honestly.
But it's a comeback, but then Cincinnati this week got beat by a MAC team. I forget which one it was.
Miami, Ohio.
Ohio, yeah.
Miami,
yeah.
Okay, which, I mean, it's a MAC team. I love MAC. Give me some Tuesday night football. But the MAC on Saturdays, you know why they're playing. They're playing to collect the check and get beat. I mean, you said, name the player. Who was it that said, let Phil cook?
Who's that? Johnny P.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I hope someone replied to that tweet with a clip of Billy Madison where he's laughing and Eric's cooking just on fire, because that's basically the equivalent. Letting Phil cook. That's the result.
You guys ever seen that picture? It's like when I try to cook and it's a dude pouring a bowl of cereal and it catches on fire. That's what it was like. That was the equivalent.
Is that like Homer Simpson or something?
It might be. Yeah. But yeah, it was disgusting. It was a bad display. I'm just sickened. But here's the thing. Pitt has known to let me down quite a few times over the years. I mean, in football and in basketball. But I still come back every week because I'll tell you right now, I like watching college football more than I like watching professional football. But I'll still watch professional football. But if you ask me, I'd rather watch football on a Saturday than on a Sunday because now this is going to segue into something. You wake up, you turn on game day, and you get to see Corso put on the headgear for the 400th time yesterday. Stuff like that. It's special. I haven't missed a game day headdress in years, a very, very long time. Even when I was working on Saturdays, I'd peek my head in at 10 till and watch about 10 minutes of it just to watch the picks, for who the guys had and stuff. So I enjoy watching it. I'm not sure. I'm sure you go back. Let me look.
I was wondering, if he's done 400, how many picks does he make per show? It's one headgear pick, though, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So, does he make other picks in it though too?
Yeah, he picks just the same games that everybody else, but the big game, where they're at, is with the headgear.
Like the game day one, right?
Yeah. Let's see his record. Okay, he's 266 wins, 134 losses. That doesn't. Yeah,
That's not bad at all.
66.5%.
You can go like 2 out of 3. That's pretty much 2 out of 3.
That's a good way to determine your bets for the week. Berkeley, you just hammer the favorite.
Yeah.
Whoever course that throws that on, you put a few bucks on, you'll be getting enough money to buy that Jurkovec jersey in no time.
So it says that he's picked 68 different teams all time, but none more than the Buckeyes. He's picked 38 times.
Oh, that's kind of a cop out almost.
It just shows that they're at Ohio State games all the time.
Sure.
Like, either Ohio State playing Penn State or Michigan. They go to like Georgia, Alabama, the world's largest cocktail party.
Where were they yesterday?
They were in Colorado.
Colorado, yeah.
Who you pick?
He took Colorado.
Yeah. You're not going to go against Coach Prime right now, Ryan.
Which
learn.
I mean that game got kind of nasty there.
Nasty game.
For all the trash that Colorado was talking and keeping receipts, they let Colorado State hang around. I know it went double overtime, but I get it.
24-point favorites.
Yeah,
I mean, that's not exactly.
I
might want to throw those receipts out this week. Shred those ones.
Hunter got taken out by a late hit, But did you see what Sanders did to that one kid? He poked him in the eye. Like, it was getting like, keep it within the lines and keep it within the whistles. And I'm okay with that. You want to hit somebody legally, that's fine, but can't take liberties at people.
In high school,
He might have. Me?
Yeah.
No, never had pocket sand.
That was the rumor when you got that safety.
No.
There's a pocket sand asterisk.
That was natty. That was all natty.
There might have been
natty safety.
Might have been a little Copenhagen juice or something. But yeah, like if you look down the top 25, only two
teams. They just released it right now. You see that?
Yeah, two teams. Only 2 teams lost in the top 25 yesterday. So, Kansas State lost to Missouri.
The top 10 only flipped for Texas and Florida State.
Yeah,
for whatever reason.
Well, Florida State barely beat Boston College. That's why. And Texas blew out Wyoming, but then Florida ended up beating Tennessee as well. So, I mean, Alabama looking shaky at number 10 down at UCF.
They don't have a quarterback.
I understand that in the weather as well. Nick Saban, did you see him after the game? He looked just demoralized. That's the same problem I think Ohio State's having is they didn't play anybody. They played Western Kentucky, but they don't really have. They were between Kentucky? a couple quarterbacks to start too. So it's almost wide open. I have a feeling this year there's not going to be an undefeated team, and that's going to shake a lot of things up. But I was talking in my one group chat.
Even Georgia looked shaky yesterday too.
Yes,
that's number one.
Great. I mean, they won, but they didn't look great either.
No.
I don't think any teams did. Penn State really didn't look that good. It was 30-13, but like when you have 5 turnovers against Illinois and you don't really capitalize on that, like the offense didn't look that good. I'm gonna be honest.
Even North Carolina didn't look good early. I know they ended up hanging 31 on Minnesota, but Minnesota going in the half, it was a ball game. So, and don't get me started on Drake. Man, I can't. I'm tired of hearing about him and his brother and who's the bigger North Carolina Tar Heel? Well, his brother's got a national title. So shut up.
Hey, you're not wrong.
He hit one of the most iconic shots in the tournament too. So ever. But I don't like Carolina blue. It's just me.
More of a baby blue. Get a little navy. Get a color in there.
Like my junior high football coach told me one time. They wear powdered blue when we were playing lower barrel. And he wasn't very happy and too fond of that. He said it's not a manly color. I was like, I see that, and it's the same color that North Carolina wears.
There's only one time that the powder blue is acceptable, and that is in a throwback LaDainian Tomlinson jersey, which I will stand by.
Yeah.
Or if you want to get a little more old school, Warren Moon, Houston Oilers.
Yeah.
Anything other than those 2 jerseys and the powder blue, I
disagree. Pittsburgh Penguins Winter Classic.
No, I don't
I
like
hate
them.
it.
Don't like them.
Nope.
Don't like them.
That's like one of the most
Nope.
iconic Sidney
Nope.
Crosby games.
Do not like
against
it.
the Sabres.
Don't like that. I don't like that jersey. No.
Dude, that's an awesome jersey.
No, I don't like it.
I think it's better than the most of the retro jerseys they make these days.
Mm.
No. No. No.
I think so.
No.
I like
So
them.
if we're talking about color schemes and jerseys and stuff, what's better, the old Houston Oilers, or do you like the old Tampa Bay creamsicles?
I always go the creamsicles
Okay.
over.
I like
one
that.
of my top.
I like that
throwbacks.
Buccaneer emblem too. Yeah, he had the hat on and the saber in the mouth. I like
I'm a
that.
big fan of that, honestly. I don't know. It just looks funny.
You're
weird to me.
trash, kid.
It just looks funny weird. I don't know.
This might be the second Ryan to get kicked off the pod.
Yeah, you have some taste, kid. Come on.
But in fairness, we don't know where the other Ryan
Are you
is.
talking about the ones they are wearing like today?
Who?
Like aren't they wearing like old ones? Kind of Tampa Bay.
Are they? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm watching the Bengals and the Ravens.
I don't know if they're wearing. I mean, like this year. I don't like the new ones. I thought they released. They might have released new ones. I've seen Baker, or it might have been like a Photoshop or something. But I was like, those are ugly.
the orange and white.
Or jersey.
One Tampa Bay wears?
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Orange
looking
and
at.
white.
I don't know if they announced that they were wearing it this year. Yeah, dude, those are so sick with the red and the creamsicle. Yeah,
Let's take a look.
yeah.
I don't like the logo though. I'll tell you that much. That stupid Buccaneer pirate.
That's odd. That's the best part.
Word in his mouth,
Yeah,
feather in his cap. Have some respect.
he's winking.
Yeah, like you know what's coming.
That's just like
They sell them. They look stupid.
I think that might
don't
be one
like
of the
it.
best color
It's
schemes.
just like Tennessee with red.
No, because it's
No.
a lighter orange. It's not dark orange. It's like a creamsicle. That's like Minnesota's helmets yesterday. Did anybody see them?
Yeah, look, they
They're
unveiled them.
metallic
Tampa
gold.
Bay reveals Spirit of 76 jerseys.
Yeah, those are dope. Those are dope. But Minnesota had the gold all metallic gold helmet, the M on the side, but then they had the gopher on the other side. I like them. Like stuff like that. I like certain mascots.
I just don't think I'm a fan of that orange. I don't really like many orange teams. Traffic cones. Like, run around me.
There's a Dion Phaneuf out there, a pylon.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I don't know.
I don't know. I missed almost all the slate yesterday due to a wedding. So I got home. I saw the second half of the backyard brawl, and then to cleanse the palate, I threw on Colorado State. Fell asleep. I woke up and there was a I mean, every time it felt like every time I woke up, there's just a scrum and they were going nuts on the radio or the TV. So, yeah, I'm disappointed. I'll miss Penn State, Iowa next week, which, a little bit of a revenge game. I think Zach Taylor may have a heart attack screaming at this official right now, but
It's like a low-key James Franklin loss game, though, too. You gotta watch out for teams that start with I's. I never trust it. Illinois, Iowa, Indiana. Never trust the 3 I's.
Dan might appreciate this, though. Anthony Richardson being evaluated for a concussion right now. That's not the part that I'm sure you're happy about. A fellow mustache man, Gardner Minshew, in at quarterback for the Colts, right?
He went in. He went in last week because Richardson took that one to the goal line and got popped, and he ended up not being able to score. But yeah, Gardner Minshew. You ever hear the funny story about Gardner Minshew?
Was he hammering his hand up?
No, that one. But what he does pregame.
No.
So he'll stretch right in the locker room and nothing but a jock. And I'm not talking like compression shorts. He's got the old school jock on that just covers his junk ass hanging out, and he's just stretching like
That's an alpha move right there.
Exactly. That man, he's something else.
There's always that one guy in the locker room that's just too keen on getting about as nude as possible, and I guess that he's just that guy. There's always every locker room. You can figure in school if you played sports. There's always that one guy that's just too comfortable. That's Gardner Minshew, I guess.
Is it too comfortable or it's just comfortable enough.
I don't know. Who else walks around in an old school jock in 2023?
That's a power move. It is. That's an alpha and the omega move. It really is.
Who probably does from an announcer standpoint. You walk back in the rooms there. Dickie V, I can see him yelling "diaper dandy" while he's in a jock stretching out before the broadcast. That's the kind of guy.
I'd see the old Dodgers announcer. What's his name that died?
Vin Scully.
Vin Scully.
Yeah, he probably did that. Except he probably wore it backwards.
Excuse me. I'd say Hillgrove, but he's too busy pounding brews up there at Soma's.
Yeah, Billy Hillgrove
driving home.
He's more likely to drive into a business than wear a jock.
But I did see big top 25 matchup next week is Oregon, Colorado. So, I don't know if game day is going to do back to back.
That's a big test for them.
Yeah,
because who they have after? They have someone crazy after Oregon, right?
I don't know, but Oregon hung 55 on Hawaii, but USC maybe.
Hawaii.
But good for Prime this week, but
real test next week.
Kansas City, 50 seconds left in the first half. They have not scored yet. 3-0. Got a real defensive battle down in Jacksonville.
Hey, the Jaguars aren't bad though.
No, they're not. They were my sleeper team. That's why I took Trevor Lawrence in both my leagues because I thought he'd have a pretty big year. He had a pretty big week last week. But looking at the slate, Colorado has Oregon, then USC. So there's two big tests. Only the Oregon one's at Oregon, USC. They play USC at home in Boulder. So we might see game day there quite a few times this year. I don't know what other games are on the slate for next week, but let me look.
Oh, Ohio State, Notre Dame.
Oh, that's probably where they'll be then.
Yeah. That's a big game.
Yeah.
That's a huge game.
Huge?
Huge.
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 Florida State, Clemson. I know Clemson's not all that good, but Mississippi.
Dabo's on the hot seat, though.
They got Ole Miss and Alabama. That'll be a good one. Top 25 matchup.
Ole Miss.
UCLA, Utah, another top 25 matchup.
Did you say Ole?
Yeah.
Oregon State, Washington State.
Didn't DK Metcalf go there and he did like the dog celebration?
Yeah.
He lifted his leg. They called it Ole Piss.
Yeah. So yeah, that's probably Ohio State, Notre Dame. That's probably where they'll be. Oh, it's in South Bend too. We'll touchdown Jesus for you.
Yeah.
So we might have to check up on DJ next week because that Notre Dame quarterback's pretty damn good.
Rudy, yeah.
No.
The stud.
Sam Hartman.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I did see a pretty rude tweet, Dan, about this is about Notre Dame Boston College.
Okay.
It said the Catholic Church's biggest cover up was covering up that Phil Jurkovec is a bad quarterback. And I was like, that's just a little too far.
No. Oh, wow. There's a lot of layers to that. There's a lot of layers to that.
That one, yeah.
Wow. Probably the truth, though. Jesus.
That's just a rough scene.
I just want to forget this week. I'm just glad that. So I had a bet with our buddy Bruno that Pitt would win. We set the line over under 8.5 because I was high on him this year. We're 3 weeks in. He let me go back on that because he agreed that Phil Jurkovec just ain't it. So I was texting him last night. I was like, I need out of that bet. I was like, I'll Venmo you right now because they'll be lucky to win another game. He's like, I'll let you out of it just because like this is ridiculous. It's sickening to watch. I can't even watch it. So
disgusting.
I just want to vom heavy.
I mean, I think the only way to punish yourself more would be to
watch the Pirates on a second screen, maybe.
Yeah. You can watch G1 Bay play, which I
lost the game single-handedly.
And he lost in the Pirates game. I guess he's used to hitting people and putting them in the hospital. You have his ex-girlfriend and then the Yankees pitcher. I don't like G1 Bay. He's a domestic abuser. He's a scumbag. I'll never root for him, whatever, that's just let that happen. But did you see the throw from the Nationals catcher Jackson and hit
Yes.
Jackson Rutledge in the head. And
Yes.
did it clear the Did it clear the
No.
Clemente?
That was
No,
an edit.
there's
That
an
was an
edit,
edit.
dude.
So it
No.
landed in
It landed pretty
right
far out
field.
and right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was I don't know, I'd say 30 feet off the infield dirt there.
There's
So
enough for someone to score from second, I think,
no.
or at least third.
G1 Bay made it the third off of it.
Okay.
But yeah, he I saw the edit and I was like, because then they had the Pirates broadcast and Bob Walk, you hear him say, "Oh, that hit the foul pole." I was like, that didn't hit the foul pole. So I found the original. Yeah, they just edited it and it was hilarious. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean, just a couple days ago, they were only 6.5 back. I know you don't want to touch the Buccos, but they're playing 500 ball in their last 50 games or so, which is good. Here's the thing. You have a hot start like they did. If they would have played 500 ball up to this point, they'd be in a playoff
Maybe in
position.
a race.
You know,
Maybe wild card.
they'd be in it. Like,
yeah,
they wouldn't be where they are. They wouldn't be chasing. So, I mean, that's good to see. I just think Derek Shelton still needs to understand you can't leave Quinn Priester in there. I mean, the guy had 4 good innings and then got blowed up. I know he still got the win, but he ended up giving up 4. They ended up winning that game 7-6. And then you bring the Yankees to town, and G1 Bay just blows it in the 9th for you. I know he wasn't pitching.
Holderman.
It wasn't Holderman's fault. That was all on G1 Bay.
Oh yeah, the last throw, but still, you can't give up 4 runs in an inning trying to close the game.
The funny thing is, you look at who they had on the bench, and especially Lico Williams, who's only there for his defense, and you don't have him in the game.
Yep.
Managerial malpractice. Call that on the pod.
But
especially in the top of the 9th, like, what are you going to do? Hoping they come score? Like, are you worried about having to have Lico Williams come hit? Like, put him in. You're up by like 3.
He's there for his glove anyway, like Andrew said. But it's good to see they're over their win total from Vegas, which was 67.5. Just hopefully they can build on the heart start if they have it next year. And like, I want you guys to apologize to me. I want you to eat your crow. I said that O'Neal Cruz will not play again this year, and he has been shut down earlier this week. He is shut down for the rest of the year.
I think that was before they had that setback, though, where he said his ankle was bothering him. So
I told you back in June.
I'll say you're right, but like, I think there should be an asterisk at the bottom.
I don't think so, because I told you back in June before his setback.
I'm not gonna put up an argument like Ryan. I'm just gonna apologize.
I'm just saying, like, if I would have known there would have been a setback, I'm like, yeah, he's not gonna play.
You have to assume the worst is gonna happen, especially with a guy like that. They're not gonna rush him back, even if it feels just slightly off. He's not gonna play, especially when it happened so early in the year and you got to get surgery. They're just going to shut you down, just like Paul Skeens. They shut him down.
But here's the other side of that coin.
Yeah.
So you're saying it would have been a smart move at any showing of him having like an uncomfortable situation with his foot that he'd be shut down.
Yes.
So all of a sudden you're saying that the Pirates are going to make like a competent decision.
Correct. They're looking. Here's the thing. No, here's the thing. When you look at it, it's for their future, right? They make some competent decisions for their future. Exactly. They love kicking that can down. So as soon as you have any kind of discomfort, any kind of pains, aches, they're going to shut you down. So especially with a guy like that, he's such a marvel. He really is. I think if you have him in the lineup, they win 10 to 12 more games. So they're right around 500, and they're right in the hunt. So. Let's just see.
I'm just worried for next year. He's not proven still,
No,
he's not. He's okay.
Yeah.
We know he's like a ball player with, a ceiling. He has a high ceiling, but he could also have, I guess, a low floor,
He could.
Like, we haven't seen him play to what we think he is.
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh media, the one thing against them is how high they praise stuff that looks good or, blow stuff up that might not be as great as it could be.
I think it
really in the Pittsburgh media, the only one that doesn't do that's Mark Madden. Everybody hates him because basically he tells the truth. Everyone doesn't. There you see so many people say that. Oh, he's the only one that speaks the truth.
So I got 2 points here. It just shows that this year would have been crucial for O'Neal Cruz, and it sucks that he doesn't have it. Because look at Ellie De La Cruz. He kind of fell off. and he was
Oh, yeah, big time.
he's a mirror image almost of O'Neal Cruz. But back to your point about Mark Madden, I know everybody hates him. I've supported the guy for years. Because here's the thing, people don't like is, like you said, he tells the truth. He'll spit facts to you, and you don't like it because he's right. Almost 99% of the time, and he'll tell you how it is. He's not dumb. The guy knows what he's talking about. When he calls him super genius, he is. He's taken the IQ test. The guy is a genius. He's not dumb. He doesn't sugarcoat anything, and nobody likes that. They want to hear what they want to hear, and they want to be told that, oh no, yeah, Kenny Pickett's the man. He'll come out and tell you Kenny Pickett sucked. Phil Jurkovec sucked. He rode Ben for years, and Ben would come on his show all the time and do shows with him. So that guy is a genius. I will never say a bad thing about the guy, minus the one time he said the Depends wouldn't win the cup when Letang only played half that year because he broke his ankle or whatever. And I called in and I was like, hey, I'm just letting you know, I kept a receipt on that. And he didn't like that. But I've met the guy. Super nice guy. Very, very nice guy. All these people want to talk on Twitter how they knock him out. He goes out to public. He goes out to bars for watch parties for the Steelers, for the Pens. Everybody likes the guy that shows up. It's the keyboard warriors that'll say, "Oh, I'll kick his ass." Nobody ever shows up.
Always.
Because I feel like that's low hanging fruit. Like he has like a lot of ass to kick. So like it's kind of like the point.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna argue ones and twos or anything, but like read the room a little bit.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of sports media in this town that will tell you what you want to hear, and I'd rather kick their asses, but that's just me.
I bet you like Dunlap's one.
Right, Pony.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, Philipponi.
He just jinxes the teams. He's not a blowhard.
No, but and he's big in the national media as well. He's got a couple national radio shows and podcasts and stuff. I just that guy, some of his takes, and then he goes back on them constantly.
Oh yeah.
The Steelers are going to win the Super Bowl, and then they lose last week. They'll be lucky to win 8 games. Oh, Pitt's going to win the ACC. They're going to be in the playoff. Oh, they'll be lucky to win another game, dude. Shut up.
That's just I feel like he just plays that shtick perfectly though. Like,
it's so annoying.
It is, but it's kind of funny to me that he like makes these outrageous claims like they're gonna destroy West Virginia, and then the next day he's like, yeah, they are not winning one more game this year because people just get so pissed at him for one, jinxing the team, and then 2, he doubles down on like how bad they played. He plays that perfectly. I love seeing those tweets of people getting mad about.
I hate it. I love whenever Penguins Jesus tweets at him all the time about deleting his Twitter. Because like he'll tweet like something about sports, and then Penguin Jesus will like switch the words around and be like, yeah, I heard the Steelers said you need to delete your Twitter, stuff like that. It's just, I understand it's probably his shtick, like you said, but stick to your guns. If you're gonna say that a team's gonna do this or that, stick to it. Wear it, eat your crow. Don't go back on it constantly. It just shows that you have no. Here we go. I'm gonna say it. No twig, no berries.
I think that might be where we have to end it today. Dan's delivered 2 no twig, no berries guarantees in the pod. I mean,
stamp it.
You don't see that too often.
No. Normally it's Ryan throwing them out, but I had to.
I haven't had like a reason to. Like, you're the bigger fan like of Pitt, and that's what we talk mostly. It's like the team that I watch with no stress. Like Penn State, that's where I get mad. They didn't have a good first half against Illinois. I was like getting mad, but then like I enjoy watching local football, so I can just sit back, like enjoy a football game, not get mad, just analyze what's happening, see what's going on, that kind of thing.
You guys got a good one up there. You guys got a good quarterback up there.
He looked too good yesterday for the first half. He had like 3 total incompletions the first 2 games, and then he had like 7 maybe.
You're gonna have that. You're like I said, you're not gonna have your stuff all the time, and you have a stable running back.
Trace McSorley 2.0 or second half, I think. Maybe third, fourth quarter, part of the third, most of the fourth.
You'll
Yeah, he's literally Trace McSorley, who wears number 9, looks like him, and just runs the ball any chance he can. He picks
Trace
up like
McSorley
yards though.
made the NFL. I mean,
Can't
that's
hate
not
it. Yep.
Can't hate it. It's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying he's Trace McSorley 2.0. He plays just like him. I'm a big Trace McSorley guy. Third on a dime.
He beat
Joe
Pitt
Burrow.
twice.
By the way, they're giving the stats out here at halftime. Joe Burrow, 35 yards in the first half. He washed,
Wow.
which for my fantasy team would not be great, but
For the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What
that's
they
great.
should do? I'm gonna make the meme of like, you know, the Scooby Doo meme where it's like the masked villain and they pull it off. Be like Joe Burrow, they pull the mask off. It's Phil Jurkovec.
Oh,
Actually, yeah, do that one on the Youngzers account. You'll probably get some.
Oh, yeah.
You'll get some good
Yeah.
engagement.
you'll get some love for that one. All right, gentlemen.
You got any Jags before we go?
Yeah, Phil Jurkovec can't show up for the media after saying, you know, whining and crying last time you were in front of the media. You're a Jag. No twig, no berries. All of it.
Dan, is this our second ever Youngzers certified Jag-off behind Ron Hextall?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I really
right.
do. You know, just the way you act. Yeah, I think so.
We do reserve that Youngzers certified Jag for actually certifiable Jags, and the fact that we've only had one in the past year is Phil number 2.
Yes. Yeah.
We need to get
rubber
a
stamp it.
T-shirt once we like fill it up and like add somebody every like get certified Jags and like we have one name like Ron Hextall on the back. It just gets bigger and bigger.
Like the Cleveland quarterback jersey.
Andrew, do you have a Jag?
Myself, basically, at a wedding yesterday, and I told you guys before, but Nicole offers me a piece of spearmint gum. The
Yeah.
spearmint, if I goes down the wrong pipe, I'm in church, causing an absolute scene, coughing, just extremely loud. Couldn't catch my. Yeah, it's a tough look for me. You know, in God's house, pulling that kind of stunt. I mean, I'm a Jag. Simple as that.
Got to wear it sometimes.
All right, I wear it.
All right, I got Jag. It's like a blanket term, kind of. Well, not blanket, but like a whodunit kind of situation. I had to get like a new pair of pants today. So I like trying on pants because I think pants are the hardest thing to buy. Because you know I have like decent sized quads. They're not too big, not too small. Whenever you buy pants, it's hard to find ones that fit like the quads and up. So I'm gonna put these pants on. So I'm trying them on in the fitting room. And I take my shoes off and I'm like walking around in the fitting room, you know, doing my like trying on thing. I'm like stepping on like sharp stuff. I'm like wondering what it is. It's like pins and needles on the bottom. So if you're leaving like pins and needles like laying around in the dressing room, like you're a Jag.
You'll have it on.
I think the only place you get pins and needles in like when you're trying on clothes is like dress shirts. So whoever tried on a dress shirt, those will be pinned up.
If you're trying on dress shirts, that's a Jag move.
Yeah.
I think.
Did you
They
get
come in
measured?
small, medium, and large. If you don't know your shirt size, like
No.
pant size is harder.
No, dress shirts, you got to get measured. You know, neck and shoulder width, arm length, stuff like that.
Yeah.
One I were looking at said like L, S, M.
Because the last time I got measured, I actually had to go up a size because I have this thick neck.
Yeah, even in neck, right? Like,
oh yeah,
like Dan Kreider-esque, yeah.
So yeah, don't leave your pins and needles around. Because when I'm trying on suit pants, just makes for a bad time.
all right.
But yeah, thank you. That's season 2, episode 8 for you. Steelers Browns tomorrow night. We'll recap that next week and maybe have 2 games to recap next week. Correct?
Yeah.
All right. Hoot hoot.